right. So tell me what you see the church looking like. Our church right here,
our
Smithville
church, Smithville
Baptist,
Baptist.
when I am 72 years old.
When you were 72 years old. All right, 12 years from now?
12 years from now.
Well, that's a good question. This is the first time in my ministry that I have ever been in a place that was growing. You know, socioeconomically was solid, and the area was growing. I've been predominantly in either rural or areas where there were some socioeconomic struggles around the church. So it's been very interesting to me to watch this area. So there's about 40,000 people in what we call Isle of Wight County, where Smithfield, Virginia is. And if I did my math right, and that is never a given, we should be getting up around 140,000 in about 10 years from now. So my vision for the church is that we continue to be a place where people feel loved from a variety of backgrounds, a variety of races, and all of those pieces. And quite honestly, the military brings a lot of that to us,
right?
Because it's
because we've always been diverse,
right? Absolutely.
We've always been the culture that we accept.
That's right.
Accept people, yeah.
Because the standard, right? Didn't matter. So we have the opportunity to be more diverse than a lot of churches in other areas. We have an opportunity to do the right things so that God will use us in this area. So if we've got 100,000 people, let's say, moving into the area, I mean, it's incumbent upon us to be aware and open to God's vision for what He wants us to do so that we are a place that He will use in that growth. So my vision 12 years from now is that, we have consistently become more and more, just like as individuals, we're trying to become more and more like the people God's created us to be. It's not an out, but it's an honest answer, is that I hope 12 years from now we have consistently shown that we have taken concrete steps through staffing and programming and focus and vision and building and campus and all those things, that we have intentionally over those 12 years taken deliberate concrete steps to become more the church that God has called us to be. Because I believe if we are really truly committed to being the church He's called us to be, and whatever that looks like, because we don't know just yet.
Right.
We're going to live into that and see that He will bless us because it will be a place that He can use to build His kingdom. And so we're not going to build Smithfield Baptist Church's kingdom. You've heard me say that. We're going to build God's kingdom. So 12 years from now, I mean, I think we do have a very strong opportunity to grow in numbers, but even more so because you can have a lot of numbers and not be healthy.
Right.
Even more so that I think we can guarantee the healthy aspect of that, which then leads to good numbers if we put God's vision for this local expression first. Programmatic-wise, don't know.
Yeah.
Do
Do you think we'll be successful, though, given, out of that 140,000, as our culture continues to, literally eat itself, it seems like, where more and more people are in church. So, yeah, the numbers are going to grow, but the people that are coming here,
may or may not be Christian,
may or may not be Christians, and may or not, even be trying to find a church. So, yeah, they're sitting right here in our community, but they look at the steeple and go, it's just a steeple.
I believe that's our responsibility. We got to get outside our walls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been shocked even in the past 4 years at how many times it's hit me in the face that people have no idea what we do underneath that steeple.
Yeah.
They, like in our culture, they have no idea anymore.
Yeah, I think like what we're doing with Awanas, is really, I mean,
that's our Wednesday night program.
It's really been amazing. And then, like I see our church youth group, it's starting to grow. Like when we first came to this area, we visited here, but then ended up going to Nansemond River and then coming back, like I said, in 2010.
Right.
So that growth is starting to get back to what I remember seeing my first time when I came into the church back then. But I also, know that you have a heart for, special ministries too.
Yeah,
so isn't that part of that growth path?
Yeah, I mean, and again, growth is, I think we fall into a trap in the church, and I know you agree. I think we fall into a trap when we make our health based upon what our numbers are in the pews, and I know you agree with that.
Right.
I mean, we need to make sure that health is being the church that God's called us to be, whether that's to help families with special needs, if that's to be, racially more diverse, if that's more programming, if that's more schooling here offered by the school. I mean, if that's whatever that is. I mean, the goal is to be more of who God's called us to be. So, you could say, well, you got people moving in, so we could just kind of naturally grow. But I think to your point, there's no guarantee that the majority of those people are going to be looking for steeples. So to Tim's point, I think that we have to recognize that in our changing culture, we have to do a better job as the church to let people know what is so wonderful about a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the health piece of it. I mean, they don't want to hear my moralizing. They want to know, why is it that Jesus will make a difference in my life? And if we as a church can do that and make that argument in a persuasive way, then I think that we can make an impact. So it says we have several families that are driving over the James River Bridge to attend our church. That says something about what we're doing that's right. Yeah, and I think that speaks to culture.
Right.
I think that speaks to culture. And so the healthy culture will draw people who are seeking a healthy place.
Yeah,
So,
and I think, if I look at people that are my age and, I'd say 5 years plus or minus, and you see us all still motivated and, engaged, teaching and
Right.
doing things. When that 12 years comes by and it's 72, I mean, I still want to be doing those things because I want every generation knowing, this is how we're interconnected. And,
That's right.
and a lot of times the younger kids will say, well, the older kid or the older people
Senior
that attend the
adults.
church,
Yeah,
senior
yeah,
adults,
yeah.
don't care about us. But I can tell you, when I walk around and I'm talking to the senior adults and I'm visiting with them, they are hyped.
Yeah.
They are hyped about what they're
Really
seeing.
psyched up about it. Yeah. That's right.
We're trying to change this idea that you just sit there in the pew and I'm going to smack you with a ruler if you're
Right.
speaking.
Right. That's right.
Again, not knocking the old days of those aspects, but I think what we're starting to see is that I remember Mr. Henry when I was at Nansemond River. He was an old guy, and I would be playing kickball, and he would just sit there and watch. I'm like, Mr. Henry, why don't you come over and kick the ball? He's like, I can't run. I'm like, you kick the ball, I'll get one of the kids to run for you.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. That's
And,
right. Just play with us, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, people want to be engaged, and I think what we're starting to see is with your guys' leadership, you and Pastor Josh, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this dynamic now where all of the ages are there, and so don't sit on the sidelines, right?
That's right. Yeah, get involved. And real quick,